Welcome to Just Minding My Business Media, LLC. Every day we can learn and grow in unexpected ways. We may miss the opportunity if we close our hearts. Today, Just Minding My Business Media, LLC is pleased to welcome some of the contributing authors of the soon-to-be-released anthology, A Little Perspective, Real Stories of Little Ladies. Each of the contributing authors is a person with dwarfism. We look forward to learning much from them, their experiences and gifts they bring to life. Tonight, we welcome Chantel Butler, who is from Saskatchewan, Canada. She has certifications in wedding and event planning, Reiki, body talk, cake decorating, and chocolate making. Though she has accomplished much, she says the biggest accomplishments is survival. From born prematurely at 32 weeks gestation, she also has dwarfism. She is inspired by people's own unique personal growth and their ability to overcome any obstacle placed on the path of their life journey. As part of her journey, she is now a contributing author to the soon-to-be-released anthology, A Little Perspective, Real Stories of Little Ladies. Welcome, Chantel.
Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me, ladies.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about who Chantel is and how you arrived to where you are today.
As in with the book? Oh,
Just as a person, what do you do for a living?
okay. I'm Chantel. I'm 31 years old. I'm from Canada. I am an educational assistant with the Greater Saskatoon Catholic Schools, but I'm currently on long-term disability due to medical issues since February of 2015.
Okay, okay. So how was it growing up?
Pretty normal, I would say. I got treated just like everybody else, but yet somewhat people, coddled me just because I was different. And even with being achondroplasia, having achondroplasia dwarfism, I am on the smaller end of everyone, basically, even still in adulthood. So I've always somewhat been coddled, and people have been overbearing and overprotective, which has been a hard thing to come by. But overall, I've been made to be aware of who I am and just to know that I can strive for greatness just like everyone else and try everything, and whatever I set my mind to, I can do until I try, and maybe my physical limitations actually do keep me from.
Okay, all righty. Yes, so you're a little snippet from your chapter in the book. What can people look forward to?
People can look forward to a story of survival and resilience and hope, recovery, lots of comeback from major issues and mistakes made with surgical errors, and always a strive to fight and to never give up, no matter what situation and circumstance I come into and what obstacles I face, no matter physical, mental, emotional, very personal, medical, friendship, relationships. It's always, I may be kicked down off the horse on flat onto my butt, but I always rise. No matter how long it takes, I always get back up.
All right, and that's what all of us have to do. No matter,
Yeah.
as humans, we all get kicked down. That's
Oh, yeah.
just a part of being human.
Yeah.
but being able to get back up and do it again is what takes you to the next level,
Yes, absolutely.
for sure.
Chantel, question for me. What was the turning point in your life? As a person with dwarfism, like you said, you were protected, sometimes overprotected. But when do you feel you stepped into your own? Or what made you step into your own?
Um, let's see. I don't have a specific turning point right now that I can think of, but just even in the last, I want to say, year and a half, I've really stepped into my own, and I've just really learned to grow a backbone and grow thicker skin. Even though I've always done that with everything I've been through, I've learned to not take things as personal and to try to see things as, yes, I may be at fault, but it also may be um, circumstantial with the other people involved, where it may be more their issue in their own lives than with me, and it's more projected from them onto me from their own personal traumas or situations. So I've really tried to differentiate between my own personal circumstances and theirs, and try not to be as much the empath as I am, and trying to let everyone else have their own issues.
Interesting. You mentioned the word empath.
Yes.
Can you talk to us a little bit about what that is and how it has affected your life?
I I've been empath for a number of years, at least the last 5 or more. I'm very spiritual. I'm very interconnected with myself. I've known that I take on a lot from others subconsciously, um, whether they're intentionally inflicting pain or their emotions on me or not. Um, I may be in a turmoil within myself, but then have to realize, why am I feeling this? Why am I going through this? It may be mine, but it may not be mine. It may be of a friend or even a past lover who I had a quarrel with, or even not a quarrel with, but just a conversation, and I happen just to absorb, to feel too much into what their situation is. And a lot of the time, even I am too empathetic or sympathetic towards other people, and ignoring enough so that I ignore my own needs, my own emotions in the situation, whatever that may be. And I've really learned over the even situations in the past months and 6 months and the year, or the last 2 years for sure, I've learned a lot about me and just what I've been through, and that, again, I can be there for others, I can love others, I can like others. But most importantly, not selfishly, but humbly, I need to be there for myself. And that self-care is not selfish if done in the right way, and is key to being able to further extend yourself to help others.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So tell us, what was your why for doing this book?
I've always kind of been an advocate, or wanted to be, let's say. In the past, I have done a scattering of speaking engagements related to dwarfism, just through connections I've had with the school, and I have a lot of relatives in different school systems. as well as I'll just say I encountered a brain injury in 2015. So that adds another advocacy avenue to my docket. So I'm very passionate about brain injury awareness and even things I go through daily. I have recovered a lot, but there's still a lot that I need to accept for myself, but also um, have others accept in me that one day, yes, I can do this. The next day, I might not be able to. And like everyone, you're your own worst critic. And I beat myself up daily. And I get so frustrated because yesterday I may have done this. Last week, I may have done this list of things, no problem. But today, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I may be lying in bed. Like there's no set schedule to my days. I may have plans. I may follow through with them. I may struggle while I follow through with them, or I may cancel them altogether, regretfully, because I know I just can't do it. And I've learned to accept in myself over time that it's okay to cancel. It's okay to say, I need a rain check. I just can't do this. And I may not be busy in the sense of how society sees busy, but for me, being busy may be doing one task in the day and I am wiped. Mentally, physically, emotionally, maybe all three, maybe just one, maybe two.
Mhm. Well, we are definitely blessed that you are here with us today, sharing
Thank
your
you.
story. And we definitely look forward to reading your chapter and learning more about you. And so happy that we met you.
Yes.
Likewise, I'm very grateful for the experience. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Progress, not perfection.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Okay, Ruth,
That
that was
was good.
that was very good and it was very humbling,
Yes.
very
We
humbling.
sometimes don't appreciate all that we have and all that we're able to do. So let me get to our next person, our next guest, who is also a contributing author. And that would be Samyukta Niraja is a woman of color with dwarfism living in the Chicago area. She is a program manager at the American Association of Nurse Anesthesiology, holds a master's degree in public health from Benedictine University, and a bachelor's degree in molecular and cellular biology from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. Samyukta volunteers in multiple capacities and is co-founder of the Little People of India. In addition, she maintains a travel blog called Just a Little Traveling and shares travel tips for people with dwarfism. To add to her varied achievements, Samyukta understands the importance of determination and believes her experiences and lessons that she learned have enabled her to be the independent, successful, and diverse human being she is today. Now she imparts her experience as a contributing author to the soon-to-be-released anthology, A Little Perspective, Real Stories of Little Ladies. Welcome, Samyukta.
Yes, welcome,
Hi.
Sangeeta. Pleasure
Thank
to
you.
have you here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's awesome to be here with you both.
Absolutely. Well, you are very, very busy, to say the least.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Yes. So tell us, let me ask how it was growing up as a child. Let me just ask that question. I'd like to know.
Sure, sure. So I was born in India. I was born in the southern part of India, so in a small temple town called Tirupati, and that's where my mom grew up. That's when, so like she's, she's from India. And so I came to the US when I was a year and a half. And so I've been pretty much living here. I live in Chicago. I live in Chicago, the Chicago area. So I've been living in the Chicago area for pretty much all my life. Definitely growing up as a little person, it took a while for me, I guess, being young, at a young age, it took me a while to fully accept myself and to fully be confident in my body. And even though I had short stature, and I always, like, when I was in school, I always wanted to fit in. I was such a people person. I just wanted to be everyone's friend, and it didn't matter that I was short. I just wanted to be friends with everybody and, be well liked and just like be seen, be heard. And I think that's, to this day, my mom calls me like a people person, because I love just like talking to people, interacting with people, connecting with people, and just like being with them, and even though I had a lot of challenges, being short, I was able to, my mom was a huge factor. My mom was a huge, she's my biggest advocate, till like today, in just really building that confidence and really being that person who never gave up on me, who fought so hard to ensure that I fit in, that I was seen as a human being, that I got all my, that I got what I needed to succeed, all the accommodations, all like, the education, like educating, schools, people, and like I'm the oldest of five girls, so 5 daughters. And like my sisters were advocates too. Like they, when I was growing up, I kind of put blinders, like, growing up, not like physical blinders, but, going out into crowds or going out into public. My method, the method to survive and succeed was to just kind of block everything, like just not pay attention, ignore the rudeness, ignore the ignorance, and like just really push through the adversity and not let it bother me. Because I knew that if I couldn't keep moving if I like let those things bother me. Right. So it's funny because my sisters would be the ones that would look out. They would be the ones pointing out like, oh, that kid is being stupid, or like the one standing up for me where I'm trying to get from one place to another and I don't notice. So it was, it's like, oh, they were staring, I didn't see, so yeah, like I think just building that, my family were just huge support, biggest systems of support and love, and really treating me as, no different, but also still being, my biggest support system and biggest fans.
Yes, and I think support is huge, no matter, for everybody, because the world can be cruel sometimes, let's face it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And having those support systems is very huge in development. And I think it's very important till you leave this earth, actually, because when we become adults, we still need support. We still have life coming at us. We still have situations that in the beginning can be devastating. And we still need that support system to me until the day we leave this earth. So I'm just happy to hear that you had loving arms around you. And I love your personality. I can tell you're a people person.
Thanks.
So tell us a little bit about your organizations and the work that you do.
Sure. So I currently, my full-time job is that I'm a program manager, specifically like chapter relations for the American Association of Nurse Anesthesiology. I know it's a mouthful, but I work for a national association for CRNAs. So the nurse anesthetists, anesthesiologists, they are the ones who work in the operating rooms, providing anesthesia, administering anesthesia to the patients. So they've definitely been, on the front lines during, the COVID-19 pandemic. So you probably heard about them in the news, just really being utilized in all areas of, the hospital and the ICU, not just the, operating room, just like being there, like going through a lot. So that's my job. I'm in the chapter relations state management department. when I'm not working, I love volunteering. I think growing up, I felt like I needed, my purpose was to just really pave the way for people who have been disadvantaged, people with disabilities, people from marginalized communities, pave the way for them so they could be empowered, to achieve their dreams and just be that source of, I guess, inspiration, hope, and to know that there is a chance for you, there is opportunity, that you deserve it as much as other people. So I was a part of, the Little People of America. That's the national organization, support organization for little people. And I, was an officer in the Windy City chapter for a while. I also am the creator and co-founder of the Little People of India, which is like a national association for people with dwarfism in India. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, because I was so grateful to what LPA has done for me, especially for my mom, coming to a new country and just knowing like, where can she get the resources? Where can she get the support? And so because I'm grateful I made those connections to really build that self-acceptance and connection and confidence, I was like, I need to help people in India. I need to do something for a country of 1 billion people, and like how many little people there are. I need to do something there. So that's why I was like, so that's how I started, that association there. And I'm also the vice president of the Benedictine University. That Benedictine University is where I got my master's of public health from. So I graduated with the MPH, the master's, in 2013. And I currently serve as vice president of the Alumni Association Board of Directors. So that's like another volunteer thing I do. And through that, I've been doing disability awareness events and just really finding ways to have people with disabilities get the support and resources they need.
Wow.
Okay, I just want to take you back for 1 second.
Sure.
Amongst all the things that you've been doing, and talk to us a little bit about what you discovered when you went back to India and became a co-founder of Little People in India. What was the situation? What did you discover there? And how did it differ or complement your experience here in the States?
Yeah, so I actually didn't get a chance to go back to India until actually 2019. But just being very immersed in the culture, in my Indian culture, like coming here, my mom was very integral in making sure that we never lost sight of our Indian roots and, Hindu faith. I'm a practicing Hindu. And because of that, just learning and immersing and just being so in touch with my Indian heritage, really helped me find out about what's really going on in India, and just what my mom would share, a bit of research, a bit of talking to people. And when I went to India myself, I could see it's not accessible. India is not accessible for little people or just people with disabilities in general, because it's a very ancient country, and a lot of the public places like temples, just sidewalks getting around, they're not in place. The old structures or old landmarks are not renovated so where people with disabilities can access it, because it's so important for them to preserve those things versus, improve, which is just a really complicated situation, but so, and also I think there's a lot of education around disability, and it really starts with educating the doctors. I noticed that there is such a lapse with the medical information, in the Indian community and within the medical community here, because when, in India, in Indian healthcare, the doctors are revered in such high positions in India, right? Because that's it's a stereotype where if you're Indian, you're going to grow up to be a doctor, just one of those things. And because of that, in India, doctors are held in such high positions. And when you go to the doctor and a parent is going to be someone is pregnant and they diagnose the baby as having a dwarfism, it it can go either way in the sense like what the doctor tells them. If the doctor tells them, oh, I don't know, your child's going to have problems. Oh, I don't know, your child is, like nothing, that parent will believe them. The parents will believe anything the doctors say.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why it really starts with them to educate, to really know about the medical, technicalities, the medical knowledge, and really so that they can tell the parents like, hey, yes, your child will have difficulties, your child will have challenges, but they are perfect. They as long as you put these things in place, they will be fine. They can have a regular life just like any other average child. Mm-hmm. So because of that, there's, that trickle down effect, because if the doctor already has a bad feeling or negative feelings toward, the child, it's gonna, pass along. And it's just really ignorant. It's just disabilities look seen as a burden in India. And like with little people ourselves, we're also seen as like funny, like a novelty, like that's why people, employ today, even in the US, there's still places that we need to educate, but in India, it's a lot more, it's amplified more because there's no education and awareness.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you.
So I'm sure, yes, I'm sure. So what is your organization doing to help to educate?
So right now we're still at the very beginning stages. So we've implemented a Facebook group, a Facebook page. We have a Facebook page. We have a Facebook support group. We have a WhatsApp group. So we have like over 100 members on there. We have parents. We have people from all over India, all types of dwarfism. We have parents. We have young kids. We have athletes. We have like definitely, little people with all backgrounds. So it's really, our main goal is really just to like really bring people together because India is such a big country. It's so vast. A lot of little people there are isolated. They don't have that sense of connection or belonging. And like, I think education and, awareness is definitely going to be a process, but it's really about bringing people together and really giving that hope, like, hey, there's someone like me out there. I'm not alone in this. So we're hoping that once we have the structure, the foundation, then we could, take that next step to get that website, to really get out the paperwork. Because to be honest, like, because I'm in the US, I could only do so much here, like provide the guidance and, provide the support. But it's really the vision lies with India, like the little people in India, because they know how to work the system. They know who to contact, so as much as I could do, it's really what they want too.
Okay.
All right.
All righty. So your chapter in the book. What do you talk about?
So I talk about my trials and tribulations of dating as a little person, and finding love and really navigating the society's expectations of marriage, and how being Indian, how being a woman of color and heavy dwarfism fit in, how they all, and just basically like the experiences I had, and my expectations of getting married when growing up, and really trying to make that happen, and also, and all the downfalls that I've had with the dating, or just like the rejection and the heartbreak, but how I've learned from it. So I don't want to give too much away.
Wow. That's enough, and we can't wait to hear all this, read all the good stuff. For sure. So it has been a pleasure, to say the least. I can't wait to do more with you and helping you get your word out.
Thank you.
Because I think it's very, very important. And I am honored to have all of you ladies here today. So thank you so much.
Thank you. This has been a great opportunity.
Absolutely.
Well, that was enlightening in more than one way.
Oh, absolutely. For sure. So last but not least,
Samantha Hansen. Dynamite comes in small packages is an appropriate description of Samantha Hansen. A woman born with dwarfism, she stands 4 feet 3 inches with a 10-foot tall personality. She is a former prom queen and current cheer coach. Sammi, as she is known, breaks big barriers. Samantha has a passion for teaching youth and for advocacy and hopes to make the world a more accepting and welcoming place for future generations of little people. For this and other reasons, she is a contributing author to the soon-to-be-released anthology, A Little Perspective, Real Stories of Little Ladies. Welcome, Samantha.
Yes, welcome. So you're a real fireball.
Who, me? What?
When anyone starts their conversation with who me, we already know the answers.
Oh boy.
Welcome, Samantha.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome,
Thank you.
welcome, welcome. So how was it for you growing up as a child?
My youth was phenomenal. I'm very blessed to have such an amazing family. And even though being the only little person in my whole family, nobody in any back history, my parents and my sisters, I mean, it was nothing. It was like nothing for them. It was just, I was the part of the family. I was the daughter, I was the sister. And yeah, they just built me into be one of the strongest, most confident as I can be people ever, like to this day. They instilled nothing but love, acceptance, and perseverance. And, we were like, hey, some things are going to be different, but we're going to make it work and we're going to figure out what makes it work for you, So it was never a big, like, standalone, like, separation or anything. So I had a very good childhood. Very good.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about what you do for a living.
For a living. So I am a pre-K teacher. I teach 3 and 4-year-olds. I do 3-year-old pre-K originally, and then I do 4-year-old enrichment in the afternoon, combined for the full-time students with 3-year-olds also. Been doing this my 10th year, so I've been doing it for 10 years. I subbed a little bit before at the schools I student taught for, and then I just recently last year got out of the service industry after working in that for 14 years. I was a server, did a little bit of bartending, and then I was also towards the end, the last couple years was also a manager too for the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
So definitely loved it. Definitely a people person, social butterfly.
Yeah, we can tell. We can definitely tell. So your chapter in the book, give us a little snippet about what you talk about.
So my title of my chapter is called Because I'm Short. And what I wanted to get out there was, there will be some periods of time where you might be, I don't want to say culture shocked, but almost culture shocked about yourself. Like I was talking about presently, I grew up in such a non-judgmental, welcoming environment throughout my whole youth and high school. And being that I attended small parochial schools, I was around those same people from 4 years old up until senior year. And I mean, even present day, I'm still friends with them. So it's almost like 32 years later, because I'm 35 now, give or take, we're still friends. But growing up in that smaller community, people knew me. I don't want to say they were used to me. That I don't like using that word. There's nothing you have to get used to. But it wasn't a question. You got to know me, you got to know who I was, and that was it. I was just Sam. And that's what I discussed. Like, I was just Sam. But then going to college, where I'm now exposed to a new scenario, new people as a, early adult, it wasn't that anymore. And I experienced different things of not being welcomed, not being understood, being questioned, for almost what felt like my existence in itself. So that was definitely a culture shock for me in a lot of ways. And it really kind of flipped the script back on me. It wasn't even about the people anymore. It was me reflecting on myself and like, who am I? Like, if you don't know me already and you don't know what I can offer you and you're seeing me straight value, like, and you're only perceiving me based on a difference that is different than what you see on the next person, or it's not considered normal, like I felt like how do I prove that I'm worth your time? How do I prove that, I'm not just my height or my difference or disability or anything? And so I had a couple of experiences that weren't great. And it definitely reflected back to me about it, kind of like soaked into my soul that, well, maybe I'm not great. Maybe there is something wrong. Maybe if people are looking at straight value as an adult, not even children, but as an adult, and questioning me or judging me based on just my appearance, but is it more than that? Like, wait a minute, like, is it, what am I doing wrong here? Like, or something. And so, yeah, it was definitely a period of time that was very challenging. It was short-lived because, I definitely tried to encourage and welcome questions and stuff. Not initially, that was rough, but with the social person I am, I couldn't grasp the fact that I wasn't getting approached for friendship. I was getting approached for a reason of why I'm the way I am. It wasn't, I don't want to get to know you. I want you to tell me why you're little, why you're the only little person in your family, what is it like being little, but not, hey, how was your day?
Right. Exactly.
And that wasn't everyone by any means, but initially, again, walking into an environment that is pretty much filled with strangers. I mean, not many of the people I went to school with for that whole longevity of time went to the same college as I did. So I didn't really have any buffers, because I felt in my life from, senior year backwards, I kind of had a lot of buffers because we all knew each other. It was our community.
Right.
And when we had that random, situation where people didn't know, like, because I was on the dance team in high school. So obviously when you travel to different games, different, high schools, everybody around that didn't know me prior, yes, I'm going to get the looks, I'm going to get that. But I always had like a shield of people to be like, hey, back up, leave her alone, or something like, that's Sam, she's awesome. And I'm not being cocky, but I'm just saying, like, that's what they would say, or something like, leave her alone or something. So I was always protected. And if it wasn't my family, it was my friends. So being that I was pretty much relatively alone in the college initial, freshman year, 18 years old experience, now I'm handling this by myself in a place where I'm now supposed to figure out who I am and become the adult and person that I'm supposed to be. But now I'm questioning who I am, like, because of my physical appearance. And like, then it's just reverting back in, and it definitely shut me down. So my goal for the chapter was to hope to reach some little people, and not even little people, but anybody in this world who just feels that they're not the same. Initially you're not the same. Doesn't have to be just little people, but my hope was to reach out to those people to say, hey, you know what? You're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to work out. Be you, be true to you. And the right people will see that. And the wrong people, well, you tried. And that doesn't even, you don't even have to have any, physical difference. That's just life in general.
True that. Everybody,
either they're gonna like you or they're not.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
not your fault.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I like your approach.
Thank you.
And I'm sure it was, like you said in the beginning, it took a minute to get there, but because of who you are, you got there.
Yes, and the wonderful people I met along the way, and yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Was there something, Samantha, that helped you to regain your center and going through that?
Yeah.
Was there something particular?
So again, I discussed that in my chapter as well, and it was attending my first ever Little People event, so LPA event, and not a national level, but of close, like, I forget, district level, so regional, whatever. Each state kind of groups with their local states, and then it breaks down into cities and whatever. And so in college, I was, internet was becoming more something you used a lot. I feel old, like I said, I say that in my chapter too. Like, it was something that was just starting to really be integrated into, your life and resources and whatnot. I came across LPA, which is Little People of America, online, and I started looking through it because where I'm from, I was never immersed around other little people, barely. I might see one or two occasionally, but like again, very slim, no real relationships, no knowledge really much of anything. So I came across the website, and then and I was on it for hours and looking at pictures, reading about people's lives and just everything like that. I'm like, wow, that's really awesome. And then I realized that they do have different subgroups of people who are closer. So fast forward, I connected with some people through email, through Messenger and whatnot. And I was able to attend my first regional dinner. And that was also, again, that was kind of a shock to the system, because I'm looking now in a different lens. I'm looking at them, like trying to see, is that the way the world looks at me? Because I was like, wait, I don't look like that. But then I'm like, yes, I do. That is. And so that was like for just a couple of the first minutes of walking into that restaurant and seeing like, a group of 12 who are similar to me. It was just a lot. But again, within minutes, as the night progressed, just talking to them and seeing the amazing things they are, or, people they are and what they do. And I'm like, wow, wait a minute. I am them. I am trying. I am doing, like, trying to do amazing things. I do have a good futuristic goal plan, and I can do this. Like, they did it. They're doing it. Like, I can do this. And then that's just kind of, it went from the outside in to working on myself from the inside out. So instead of looking at my dwarfism as what separated me, no, it changed and transformed into what made me it makes me who I am. And how,
wow.
and yeah, so that's that's exactly what I talk about. So that was definitely the revel, and it was all simultaneous for the most part with what I was going through in school. So it was like, it was what I needed when I didn't even know I needed it the most.
Wow.
That opportunity,
That's the way it comes to us.
God put that in my platter. I feel that I was like, I was supposed to see that website. I was supposed to go to that dinner, because from that dinner on out, not only did I meet an amazing group of people who I still am friends with them, but then continue to, go to like national conferences and meet more little people and everything. So it brought me those people, but then again, it also just transformed myself and my way of thinking and my acceptance when I was knocked down so hard in my own head, and everything. And yeah, so that would definitely be my turning point. For sure.
Thank you for that.
Wow. Well, we
Just
can't.
really enjoyed hearing you talk.
Yes.
Looking forward to reading your chapter, as
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to reading this book, because you bring to life something that we all forget. We're all human. It's not about the package that it comes in.
Right.
There's something within each one of us that is so precious and so valuable. And it just happens to come in different packages.
Absolutely.
And it's wonderful to be able to hear that. You all have, the three of you tonight have expressed that so well.
Yes.
We need to value each other and to look beyond appearances. Like I've heard you, all three of you, talk about people seeing you, and that's all they see is the dwarfism, this small person. But really, if that's all you see, you're missing a tremendous opportunity to open your eyes and open your hearts, open your minds, and learn something, because I have learned something from all three of you tonight. So thank you very much. I commend you for your courage, your candor, your sense of humor, and your willingness to share what it's like to be who you are. And who you are is very valuable. So thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And it was so great to hear that you all had support systems. Each one of you, your parents were very supportive, your friends, your siblings were very supportive to you. And that's important. And I was happy to hear that. And all of you are making a difference in the world in huge ways, regardless of your package, which says to the rest of the world, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's an inspiration.
It really is. It really is. And we definitely appreciate the opportunity to meet you. And we are definitely looking forward to reading the book. And now that we've met, we've got other adventures to do. I already see it in the stars because you ladies are so beautiful, and so I can't even say everything that I'm feeling right now after this conversation. So thank you so much.
That
You're
means,
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so
That's
much.
really, yeah, that's really kind of you to say.
I know, for real. That means a whole lot. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.